what is quantum computing?
How can Bitcoin safeguard against quantum computing?
Assume quantum computing is just about to break SHA-256. How would we hard fork Bitcoin to a quantum proof algorithm?
Is quantum computing a threat for crypto?
Because once that's reached, they'll be able to essentially break into the wallets simultaneously.
I mean, supposedly, quantum computers could break Bitcoin and the banks as early as 2025.
So obviously, quantum computing has the potential to change the computing world on a massive level.
Experts are calling it the next AI in terms of explosiveness.
ChatGPT, of course, everyone is talking about that. But then, for us, quantum computing.
But how will this really affect Bitcoin?
And during that interim period, Bitcoin needs to change its algorithms.
Watch today's whole video. And just to clue everybody in 90 seconds or less, what is quantum computing?
Let's imagine you have a bit, right? That is something is either 0 or 1, right? One piece of information. In quantum mechanics, you have a quantum bit, a qubit, as they call it. Very clever. So the difference is that instead of it being a 0 or a 1, like it would be classically, quantum mechanically, it is in some superposition of 0 and 1. It's some combination of a little bit 0, a little bit 1. And it's not that you don't know which one it is. It's that it really is both. It might be 90% 0 and 10% 1 or something like that.
Actually, I liked this explanation better. It's more recent. That's why I subscribe.
Here's a regular computer. Its brains consist of transistors that think in binary code, ones and zeros. Everything has to be reduced to them and fed to the computer one by one. Some tasks may be processed very quickly, but some may take a long time. But quantum computers work differently. They take advantage of the fact that on a very small scale, in the quantum realm, things can be in several states at once. You can have a thing that is simultaneously a 1 and a 0.
So this essentially offers us an exponential amount of new possibilities.
There's more information in the quantum computer. Like if you have 2 bits, 0, 0, 0, 1, etc., there's only 4 things it can be, right? If you have a quantum computer, there's an infinite number of things it can be.
The different aspects of life this can benefit for us is undeniable.
This is perfect for things like gene engineering, climate prediction, and other things where you have to consider a lot of possibilities with a lot of variables. For most day-to-day calculations, quantum computing offers no advantages though.
Bitcoin's cryptography and Bitcoin's private keys, how you access the wallets, could be in danger.
Cryptography, privacy, right, are dramatically changed by this because if one of the things that we think quantum computers should be able to do faster is factor large numbers, which is the difficulty in factoring large numbers is the basis for much modern cryptography.
And by the way, you have a better chance of winning the Powerball 9 times in a row compared to guessing just one Bitcoin private key. Bitcoin really is the most distributed and the most secure computing network in human history.
It's not like you either have quantum computing or you don't have quantum computing. The question is, how powerful is it? How many bits, how many qubits of quantum computing do you have?
So will quantum computers be able to break Bitcoin, specifically the hash algorithm which Bitcoin uses, SHA-256? This is a cryptographic hash function used in Bitcoin's proof of work mining consensus mechanism. Yes, the US government's NSA did develop SHA-256. Bitcoin was built using it. Many people do then speculate that Bitcoin was secretly created by the NSA. To me, that's outrageous because Bitcoin's success was actually built on the back of 50 years plus of hard work. Because while the Bitcoin network went live in 2009, they were pulling from so many different research papers, using other people's discoveries, utilizing that as far back as from 1974. But let's just say, for argument's sake, that the NSA today finally got access to quantum computing, and it was powerful and it was fast. Could they then corrupt the Bitcoin network?
I'm not worried about the NSA having quantum computing because one of the things that is a very basic concept in security is the idea that if you have a very powerful secret weapon, you do not use it. You wait until you have a very good reason to use it. One way of explaining that is what happened in Coventry when the British had broken Enigma. they had the most important secret was keeping secret the fact that they'd broken Enigma, otherwise they would go change the encryption code. So to keep that secret, they had to do parallel construction. If they found out that something was going to get bombed, they had to, I don't know, capture a German soldier who knew about it and then say that he told them so that they would have a different reason. And when they didn't have a different reason, they let the Germans bomb Coventry. Thousands of people died to protect the secret of Enigma. So all I'm saying is if the NSA has a quantum computer and they really want to people not know that quantum computer, which can also break all of the encryption keys on all of the nukes in the world, all of the communication keys and all of the nuclear subs and all of the military intelligence networks and all of the commercial networks, I don't think they're going to use it to break Bitcoin, if you know what I mean.
And that's really the dirty little secret when the mainstream media uses quantum computing to FUD, to trash Bitcoin. At that time, people will have so much more to worry about. Every single bank account will be accessible, all the nuclear codes will be accessible, and Bitcoin will be able to upgrade.
The real problem becomes when you have broad commercial availability of quantum computing, but not broad enough that all of us can use it in our wallets. And there's that interim period that's a bit awkward. And during that interim period, Bitcoin needs to change its algorithms. But one of the interesting things that happens is that while you can change the algorithms on all of the active wallets, some wallets have lost keys. Or the people who had those keys are dead. And they can't change the signing algorithm, which means that those wallets will get captured by quantum computers. So one of the interesting things that happens is we will know when quantum computing exists when Satoshi's coins move.
So for every single person that still has access to their private keys, you will be fine. It's those lost Bitcoin and maybe even Satoshi's Bitcoin that potentially could be accessible.
But for the rest of the ecosystem, we can migrate quite easily to another algorithm. It's not really as big a threat as people think it is.
And by the way, even though quantum computing is an incredibly powerful supercomputer, it's really not SHA-256, aka proof of work, aka Bitcoin mining, that will be affected. Programmer Jimmy Song explains.
And there's no known quantum computing algorithm for breaking SHA-256 anyway, so I don't know if there's some confusion. Hash preimages are quantum safe. It's discrete log and prime factorization that are vulnerable to Shor's algorithm, which really only gets you the square root, which isn't honestly all that much.
So it's not SHA-256, it's discrete log, meaning not the proof of work, but potentially the crypto wallets. And will Satoshi's coins be affected? Programmer Andreas Antonopoulos clearly explains that it's really not even all wallets.
Quantum computing would basically mean that the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm would be vulnerable. Now, there are two different categories of algorithms that are used within Bitcoin. One is a hashing algorithm, SHA-256, and the other one is a digital signature algorithm, ECDSA, elliptic curve. Quantum computing will most likely affect the elliptic curve digital signature algorithm first. Whether you can use a quantum algorithm to shortcut SHA-256, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if there is a quantum algorithm for that or how easy it is. So that's a different class of algorithm, and it might require a different approach to cracking. But let's say that ECDSA is affected. Ironically, what that means is that if you lost your keys, but you had previously used that address, then a signature together with a public key will be visible and will be available on the blockchain. Because when you spend from an address, you leave behind a public key and a digital signature. Whereas Satoshi, for example, never spent, never moved any of the initial mined coins. So if, in fact, Satoshi had 1 million coins, and if those are sitting there on the blockchain, because they haven't been spent, we don't have a signature, and we don't have a public key. What we have is an address, and an address is the result of a double hash and is not the result of the ECDSA algorithm. which means that if a quantum computer can crack ECDSA, but it can't crack SHA-256, then Satoshi's coins are safe. The only coins that are affected are the ones where those addresses had been reused several times. It's one of the reasons why it's a best practice to only use an address once. The first time a signature appears on the blockchain is when those funds have already moved, they're empty, that address never gets used again, that key never gets used again. So even if the public key can be cracked in the future, it results in a private key that doesn't control any funds because you only use it once.
If you got value in today's video, hit the like button right now to support me.
Ironically, that means that people who don't follow that best practice may have their keys affected by quantum computing long before people who do use that practice, and Satoshi, whose 1 million coins never got moved and therefore never had signatures attached to them.
Join the 1.48 million subscribers that tune in daily to stay informed about crypto. We are trying to hit 1.5 million by the end of the year, and like always, see you tomorrow.